Is the battery dead? Danielle, thank you, as always, good morning, folks. Oh, okay, you're there. This is good. My name is Bert Meek. I'm going to be your worship associate this morning. This is Sunday, August 31st, 2025, and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Tucson. I prefer the pronouns he and him. There's not always safe places to say that, but here you absolutely can. This morning we will be led in worship by the Reverend Inga Detweiler from Borderlands UU. And you'll see a photo of the church, right? Nope, the cute dog first, and then the photo of the church. Reverend Jamili is preaching at Mountain Vista this morning as part of the pulpit exchange. They get her. We're privileged to have Reverend Inga come here. Reverend Jamili will be back in the pulpit next Sunday. So, a little bit about Reverend Inga. She's born in Denmark. She describes herself as a Viking living in the desert because she's been here in Tucson for over 21 years. But she tells me her Danish is fluent. I have to take her word at that. She joined our congregation a couple of years ago, and she's been the minister at Borderlands for the last year and a half. When she's not in the pulpit, Reverend Inga is a canine rehabilitation trainer, which means she works willingly with aggressive dogs in order to save them from being put down and get them ready for adoption. In whatever spare time she has after that, she's also a sound healer, a contemplative creativity facilitator, and a spiritual director. She'll be over in Goddard after the service. You want to find out more of any of that, I'm sure she's glad to talk to about that. So please give Reverend Inga a warm UUCT welcome. Now, next slide with the flower. Nope, there's a cute dog. There's Borderlands. There's the flower. Good, good, good. So every Sunday, as we declare that our community is striving to become as varied as the blooms on the Sonoran Desert. Now, part of this commitment, as part of that, we pledge to uphold each of the 7 Unitarian Universalist shared values, as you'll see up there on the slide. These are the values that bind us together as a community and as we try to bring out the best in each and every one of us. Now, one of the core values that I want to talk just a little bit about today is pluralism. We do not demonize those with different backgrounds. We actually celebrate our diversity because that makes us stronger as a community and makes all of our lives more rich and more meaningful. I got to say a little bit about COVID here. The World Health Organization estimates that about 670 people in the U.S. died of COVID in the last month. It's not going away. It's still there. Many, many more than that have taken sick and had to be hospitalized. So please, 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 for all of our sakes, especially for those who are most medically vulnerable in our community, keep yourself vaccinated, keep yourself boosted. Important information, we have 2 gender-specific bathrooms just in the foyer where you came in, behind the AV desk in the back of the room. We also have a gender-inclusive bathroom that's wheelchair accessible. We have more facilities over in Goddard. One last piece of important information which we stated the last several Sundays. For Sundays only, the sanctuary where we are now, the social hall over in Goddard, our parking lots, even our children's classrooms are considered public spaces. But we've also designated a number of areas throughout the campus as private, even on Sunday morning, which means that you can only go there when you're invited in. Private offices are labeled. You'll see labels as you go around the campus. Any law enforcement officer, including ICE, they are not allowed in there unless they have a judicial warrant specifying that. If you ever come to a point where you're not feeling safe here, and you need to take advantage of these private spaces, don't hesitate to do that. As we worship today, let us always remain mindful of those desert people who came first to where we are now. Their land was stolen in successive acts of genocide and displacement. So to recognize them briefly, we honor the O'odham, the Yaqui, and the Apache. We also honor the Hokum and the many other ancient peoples whom we no longer know about. Now, as we move more deeply into this sacred space of worship, we value who you are, all of who you are. We need to protect one another more fiercely than ever. It's actually become an act of radical love and defiance to proclaim that each and every one of you is welcomed here. So however you entered our sanctuary, if you walked, you skipped, you rolled, however you got here, we welcome you. Whatever your legal status is, you are welcome here. Whatever your cultural or ethnic background, we welcome you. Whomever you love, however you identify your gender, however you choose to express it, in whatever way you choose, we proclaim loudly and clearly that you're welcome here. I want to extend the hand of welcome to our new visitors, if we have any this morning. If you're new to UUCT and you're willing, if you would raise your hand so we can say hi. There's one, there's two. All right. Thank you for being here. I appreciate that. Now, to help you get thinking more about the topic for the sermon today, I want you to think about and then turn to your neighbor. Usually we say, if you have breakfast, turn to someone else, but this is relevant. Whomever's near your neighbor, talk to them about it. So here's the discussion topic. Whenever you find yourself uncertain about what path you have to take when an important decision lies before you, talk about what grounds you, what helps you feel more focused, and what helps you feel better able to meet the challenge that lies before you. Please, go right ahead. I love just feeling the energy kind of go up and up and up with these discussions. Now, if something has sparked in you thinking about this topic or connecting to the other person you've been talking to, please don't let it disappear. We have chances at Goddard, chances elsewhere to continue this discussion, because my bet is there's lots more to be said. The call for worship this morning, Reverend Inga and I will be doing back and forth on this one.
Unrehearsed. All living substance, all substance of energy, being, and purpose are united and share the same destiny.
All people, those we love, those we know not of, are united and share the same destiny. Be closer.
Yeah. Birth to death, we share this unity with the sun, earth.
Our brothers, our sisters, even strangers.
Flowers of the field, snowflakes, volcanoes, and moonbeams.
Birth, life, death, known, unknown, known.
Our destiny from unknown to unknown.
May we have the faith to accept this mystery and to build upon its everlasting truth. Good stuff. So, it's now time in our service to do our chalice lighting. I'd like you to read these words together with me, written by Deborah Hafner. It's titled, "It is Our Journey Together." So please, we are on a journey. We didn't plan it. We don't have time for the bread to rise. We may find ourselves in the wilderness, hungry, thirsty, doubting that we should ever have come. But look around. We are not alone. It is our journey together, a journey to our better selves, a journey to a better world, a journey to the more promised land. As we light our chalice here, I forgot to light the candle for you. So much for the experienced worship associate. There we go. She got it. She's got it. Just hold it there. It takes a while. I meant to light a tea candle for you. Anyway, as we struggle to light our chalice here, I hope you're lighting more smoothly at home if you have a candle or chalice there, and burst into song.
Our songs today all come from Sing Out Love, the Unitarian Universalist Association's new hymnal that was released 10 days ago. It is an electronic hymnal, and so therefore we can just immediately use the songs. Two of the melodies are melodies that are old, and one of the songs will be new. Yay! Thank you.
It takes a village.
Thanks,
Thank
Robert.
you.
So I'm very excited for some new songs. This first song is an old song with new words, and if you are able, would you please rise? The words will be on the screen, and I believe many of you, I recognize this melody from multiple Protestant congregations that I served back a long time ago, but these are brand new words. Fairest is love, healer of all nature, love for the earth and humankind. Love will I strive for, love will I fight for, till love fills every heart and home. Fair are the meadows, fairer still the woodlands, robed in the blooming garb of spring. Love, it is fairer, love, it is purer, love makes the woeful heart to sing. Fair is the sunshine, fairer still the moonlight, bright the sparkling stars align. Love, it shines brighter, love, it shines purer than all the beauty in the sky. Love is our doctrine, service is our prayer, dwelling together
It's that time in our service when we have our weekly ritual of joys and sorrows. All of us carry deep feelings within of happiness, joy, ecstasy, pain, grief. Those feelings may not be the least bit obvious to those around us, but for us, the feelings are very real and very sincere and very genuinely felt. And this ritual of ours gives you a chance, an opportunity to acknowledge those. In this bowl before us, we will place the large rocks. These stand for the feelings and emotions that all of us share as members of humanity. In just a minute, any of you who wish can come forward and place an individual stone, or sometimes people choose several stones to express your own particular joy or sorrow. We pour water from this pitcher to represent those people traveling through the desert to our state, to our country, who have no access to water. And the water is provided by the generous folks who trying to care for those migrants coming here. If you wish to express a thought or a feeling or emotion through Menti, you can do that online. At home, you can do that. You can also do it here in the congregation if you wish. Brian Moon is more than glad to help you. Use the code, there, 7207-1671. If you write in the Menti and you wish, feel free to add your name so we know particularly who is talking to us about what they're going through. Those of you here in our congregation who wish to participate directly in this ritual, please feel free now when the music begins to come forward, walking down the 2 aisles, and you can come from both directions to the chalice. Please come forward. Let me read what people sent in through Menti. One person says they are happy to be here this morning, hoping and praying for my best friend. She might have cancer. I need prayers. We send you our prayers. Unemployed and broke, oh, hopeful yet fearful. Da Yin, we pray for you and hope you find what you need. Joy to be here. Fresh start. Let go. But don't give up. Leslie, that's great advice to all of us. Learning painful but needed lessons. Da Yin again. I hope I'm not butchering your name. Joy for people who care. Sorrow for civilization, which is not always so civil. Sad but very true. For the reading, the prayer this morning, we chose a writing by Dr. Reverend Howard Washington Thurman. It's entitled, How Good It Is to Center Down. He wrote this back in 1953. He was a prolific writer, a Christian mythic, a scholar. He said he was an intuitive that had direct connection to the universal spirit. He was also involved critically with the nonviolent civil rights movement and was a key mentor to Dr. Martin Luther King. He was also a dean at Howard University. This man accomplished a lot. Let me share one of the things he wrote with you. How good it is to center down, to sit quietly and see one's self pass by. The streets of our minds seethe with endless traffic. Our spirits resound with clashings, with noisy silences, while something deep within us hungers and thirsts for the still moment and the resting lull. With full intensity we seek, ere the quiet passes, a fresh sense of order in our living, a direction, a strong, sure purpose that will structure our confusion and bring meaning to the chaos within. We look at ourselves in this waiting moment, the kinds of people that we are. Questions persist. What are we doing with our lives? What are the motives that order our days? What is the end of our doings? Where are we trying to go? Where do we put the emphasis? And where are our values truly held? For what end do we make sacrifices? Where is my treasure? What do I love most in life? What do I hate most in life, and to what am I true? Over and over, these questions the more beat in upon a waiting moment as we listen, floating up through the jangling echoes of our turbulence. There is a sound of another kind, a deeper note which only the stillness of the heart makes clear. It moves directly to the core of our being. Our questions become answers. Our spirits are refreshed. And we can move back once again into the traffic of our daily round with the peace of the eternal in each of our steps. How good it is to center down. Brian.
Be still. Be still and breathe. Be still and be. Listen to heartache, listen to grief. Be still and breathe. Be still and be. Be still and breathe. Be still and be. Listen to gladness, listen to joy. Be still and breathe. Be still and be. Be still and breathe. Be still and be. Listen to anger, listen to hurt. Be still and breathe. Be still and be. Be still and breathe. Be still and be. Listen to beauty, listen to grace. Be still and breathe. Be still and be. Be still and breathe. Be still and be. Listen to you, listen to me. Be still and breathe. Be still and be. Be still and breathe. Be still and be.
Good morning. Is the mic close enough now? Oh, good. Okay. A little closer. Oh, my goodness. Okay. So I want to share that I recently was at Lake Tahoe, and I did a lot of kayaking. And on this one kayaking tour, we have here Irwin, who is a female dog, whose mom and dad decided it would be a good idea at the age of 1 for Irwin to have her first experience in a kayak. And I call this montage, how many people does it take to put a little puppy dog in a life vest? Clearly several. Today's reading is actually from Mary Oliver's book, Dog Songs, which is a series of poems about various dogs. These excerpts are actually from an essay that she wrote as part of this book called Dog Talk, and it's about her dog, Ben. I have seen Ben place his nose meticulously into the shallow dampness of a deer's hoof print and shut his eyes as if listening. But it is smell he is listening to, the wild, high music of smell that we know so little about. Some things are unchangeably wild, others are stolidly tame. The tiger is wild, and the coyote and the owl. I am tame. You are tame. There are wild things have been altered, but only into a semblance of tameness. It is not really change, but the dog lives in both worlds. He finds himself running over incredible, lush, and barren stretches of land, nothing any of us has ever seen. Deep in the dream, his paws twitch, his lips lift. The dreaming dog leaps through the underbrush, enters the earth through a narrow tunnel, and is home. The dog wakes, and the disturbance in his eyes when you say his name is a recognizable cloud. How glad he is to see you. And he sneezes a little to tell you so. And it is exceedingly short, his galloping life. Dogs die so soon. I have many stories of that grief. No doubt many of you do also. It is almost a failure of will, a failure of love to let them grow old, or so it feels. We would do anything to keep them with us and to keep them young, the one gift we cannot give. But I want to extol not the sweetness nor the placidity of the dog, but the wilderness out of which he cannot step entirely and from which we benefit. For wilderness is our first home, too. And in our wild ride into modernity, with all its concerns and problems, we need also all the good attachments to that origin that we can keep or restore. Dog is one of the messengers of that rich and still magical world. The dog would remind us of the pleasures of the body with its graceful physicality and the acuity and rapture of the senses, and the beauty of forest and ocean and rain and our own breath. There is not a dog that romps and runs, but we learn from him. Because of the dog's joyfulness, our own is increased. It is no small gift. It is not the least reason why we should honor as well as love the dog of our own life and the dog down the street, and all the dogs yet to be born. What would the world be like without music or rivers or the green and tender grass? What would this world be like without dogs? Blessed be. Each of you are perhaps familiar with the dog days of summer in Arizona. Those days when the air doesn't move at all. Nothing moves at all. The heat penetrates, sweltering and suffocating. Not a single breeze. It was on such a day that I was sitting on the floor across from my shaman, my mentor, in her yurt, when she asks first, "How am I doing?" I begin to cry, and I tell her I'm in exile. I tell her that I can no longer see or hear my guides 3 spirits who came to me over 1 year ago and had been with me until then. I tell her that I am no longer hearing from the Asatru community in Iceland. Nothing, no response, silence. I tell her that I can no longer smell and taste the fish and the ocean spray of my ancestors. I tell her I have not been able to even think about the study or practice of the ancient ones. I tell her that when I try to sing my song, it gets stuck and withers. I tell her there are no more visions and dreams of the ancestors beckoning me to journey. I am in exile, I cry. I feel lost, certainly. The things upon which I have relied to move me along this part of my spiritual identity are nowhere to be found or experienced. I feel uneasy and am filled with doubt. What if? What if? What if? I am grieving. Everything has gone dark. I feel empty, completely void. To not be able to see or hear or taste or smell or dream the old ways is devastating. As I am sharing my devastation with Celia, the trees around her yurt begin to move because the air has begun to move. We can see and hear and smell and feel the dust of the breeze transforming into winds that now stir the trees surrounding the yurt. The gusts become so strong they rattle the top of the yurt. The trees appear as though they want to come in and join us. And in that moment, as I see and hear and smell and feel from the dark, empty space within me, I call out, "Thank you, thank you, thank you, all the ancestors, ancient ones, the guardians and protectors, the wise women, sages, and shamans, the trees and the wind, thank you." And just like that, the wind dies. The air stops moving. Nothing is moving. There is complete silence. The heat penetrates once more. I look up at Celia and I say, "Did you?" And she says, "Yeah, that just happened." She then says, "They are listening." I tell her that I feel that in this moment, but what if this is not the journey I'm supposed to be on? She says, "What if that's what you find?" Time stands still and the words just come. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I will learn and grow along the way. There really isn't a destination anyway. Celia smiles and exclaims, "Yes!" The meaning she and I made of the breeze and the wind and the trees is that I am in fact not exiled. I am indeed being heard. The places where my guides and the ancestors dwell are watching and listening, and I am not in exile. If they are speaking to me, it must be in some other way than what I am accustomed to. Then Celia says, "Perhaps this is not about them coming to you, revealing themselves to you, speaking to you. Perhaps this is about you coming to them, you speaking to them, you revealing yourself to them." The dark night of the soul. Modern interpretation of this experience often refers to it as a crisis of faith. And in the religious world, a crisis of faith can be part of the experience. However, it is also more. When John of the Cross wrote his poem, he wasn't referring to a crisis of faith only. but a complete and profound experience of the annihilation of the self with a small s, experienced as complete emptiness in which there is no meaning. The idea of dark night of the soul has been modernized to the point where it has lost its own meaning. I believe that true experiences of the dark night of the soul only happen in the world of mystics. St. John of the Cross, St. Paul of the Cross, and Mother Teresa, to name a few. Even so, Joseph Campbell and others like Eckhart Tolle talk about the dark night of the soul as an experience of total annihilation of all that you believe in and think you are. They say that this experience comes right before revelation and new life. And though I believe it is only the mystics that experience the dark night of the soul in the manner in which John of the Cross describes it, probably every one of us has to some extent, in some way, in our lifetime, experienced an annihilation of all that we believe in or thought ourselves to be. Eckhart Tolle believes that it is the life events that tear pieces of us apart that birth this kind of deep and profound sense of uncertainty about what we believe and who we are. He lists several such life events that can all be summed up in one word: loss. Loss of a spouse, loss of a job, loss of your home, loss of a pet, and on the list goes. The lens through which we see these experiences is the process of making meaning of our lived experiences. We can talk about our beliefs in a service because we are in the constant flow of making meaning of our lived experiences. I think that what we believe about the world, about ourselves, our values, our spirituality, are informed by and inform how we make meaning of our lives. We do this through sacred storytelling and deep listening. They are listening. I will learn and grow along the way. There is no destination anyway. I am not exiled. They won't come to me. I must go to them. Buoys, all of them, in this vast ocean of emptiness, no longer feeling exiled and yet still uncertain, still grieving, still lost. 2 weeks later, I'm at a dinner with a dear friend who also happens to be an intuit, a psychic, and energy healer. I tell her I can no longer see or hear my guides. She tells me she has had this experience herself and learned that sometimes the guides are not gone, they simply have integrated into your being. They are no longer outside of you, they are within you. A different way of thinking about the shamanic barrenness I was feeling. I now hear them again. When the meaning I made was that they were gone and I was exiled, I stopped listening. This new way of thinking about what I was experiencing unhinged something in a good way. Some window was inadvertently shut when I felt exiled. This is how powerful meaning making can be. It can change the direction of everything in profound ways. It can change us. It can open closed doors. It can present new thresholds to walk through. It can change what we believe, how we see ourselves, how we move through the world, our community, our relationships, in ways that shift it all. I tell myself, You are still lost and grieving and uncertain, and Iceland may ground you or direct you or something. I had planned an epic trip to Iceland and Denmark in which I was going to have this profound experience of connecting with my ancestors. The trip of a lifetime, and for me, a pivotal one, a pilgrimage, if you will. Yet in my heart, I was feeling I wasn't supposed to go. Friends and family were asking me, "Aren't you excited? You're about to go on your spiritual quest." I would say, I haven't felt excited about it. Maybe it doesn't seem real yet. Maybe I'll get excited when I get there. Maybe I'm not supposed to be excited. Every other solo trip I've taken for the purpose of spiritual renewal has always felt good and right and intentional and, yes, exciting. This just didn't. I pained over this because this spiritual renewal trip had significance unlike the others. This was to be the journey to begin to fully embrace my Nordic shamanic identity. I sought counsel from every support. I lost sleep over it. I wept tears about it often. And I go through the motions of preparing for the trip. 1 month before the date of my departure, I have an extensive blood panel done on my 10-year-old Bouvier Brie. She survived cancer last year, and I wanted to make sure that she was in good shape before I left for close to a month. Her blood work comes back stellar. Everything looks better than good. The night before I am ready to head to Iceland, I notice that her breathing is somewhat irregular. I think it's the heat. It's 8 o'clock and the sun has set, and so we head out for a walk, both dogs, Bree and Loki, my little Cairn Terrier. We get a few steps by my neighbor's house, and Bree collapses and cannot get up, though she tries. She cannot move except her head. I put Loki back into the house, go to my neighbor Leah. Bree does not try to follow me, which is not normal for a herding dog. Leah gets a hold of 2 other neighbors, and we wrap Bree in a blanket and lift her into Leah's car, and we take her to the emergency vet clinic. On the way, Bree's head is in my lap. She is struggling to breathe, and I tell Leah and my other neighbor, Jenny, that I think this is the end for her. Jenny says, "You don't know that just yet." Leah says, "You know your dogs, Inga." I know my dogs. 20 years of working with dogs as a canine rehabilitation trainer. Yes, I know my dogs. We get to the clinic, and I was not mistaken. It was the end for Bree in this life. As we are driving back home, sans Bree, I tell Jenny and Leah that I'm not going to Iceland tomorrow. They tell me to see how I feel in the morning. Reasonable advice. I am on my patio with Loki in my lap. He is completely confused. Here's what I knew in that moment and know today. Bree didn't want to die alone. She didn't want to put our dog sitter through it. She didn't want Loki to be without me when she left. And she wanted to be with me. She wanted to be with me, with her, as she took her last breath. And I believe that she knew I wasn't supposed to go to Iceland. She really knew that. She watched and she listened, And she felt, and she knew that. Ask me right now what all of this means, and I will tell you, I don't know. While I have my buoys, I am still floating around in this vast ocean of unknowing. While I didn't go to Iceland, I did go to Lake Tahoe, and there was much that happened there. Water and trees and earth ground me. Question: can we be floating in an ocean of unknowing and grounded at the same time? They say, they meaning the editors of Senior Spirituality, that we live in a culture addicted to certainty. Certainty does indeed fuel careers, drive decisions, build empires. Carl Jung might say that the shadow of certainty is arrogance. Arrogance can and does lead us to mistake control for wisdom. The price we pay is to be shut off from mystery, beauty, and grace. I am certain we live in very uncertain times right now. They say that as we age, we hunger less for certainty, and our need for clarity gives way to curiosity. Instead of asking, what should I do next? We are, as we age, more likely to ask, what is life trying to teach me now? I've been having conversations lately about what it means to be a wise woman. I can say that I am certain I'm not even close. Though as I age, I do have the occasional wise moment, such as how I'm navigating the loss of Bree and the unknowing in parts of my spiritual journey. The wise women in my life understand that control is just an illusion, and that when we embrace this understanding, the threshold of awe, surrender, release, and wonder appears to be inviting us to step through. They seem to have embraced the notion that mystery is not a problem to solve, it is a path to walk. These women in my life are keenly aware that when they let go of the need to define every turn, they discover the sacred places once overlooked. In the comfort of a friend that has known you your entire life. In the quiet found in a daily routine. In the unconditional love and companionship of a dog who asks nothing of us but our presence. Make it so.
The music ties in perfectly with what Reverend Ingham was just talking about. Give me a second. It's time now in the service for our offering. However you participated, in person, from afar, remember our congregation needs you. We need your love, we need your time, and we need your financial support. In just a moment, the ushers will be passing the collection basket through and amongst you. If you're watching from afar, either today or tomorrow or next week, you can always go to our church website, uuctucson.org/donate, if you want to contribute to the financial well-being of our community. Remember that all of us are sustained by the love that surrounds us here in our homes. Our church is sustained by what you bring, your caring, your talents, your time as well as your treasure. This is an opportunity for each of us to contribute to the financial security of this place and to this people. Please help honor that commitment that when we give, we are saying yes to what we value, yes to what is important to us. After the offering, we have numerous announcements. You'll see more. You'll see some in the slides up there, and we have more coming. But now, your generous offering will be much appreciated. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Wendy Gordon Weeks. I am the president of this beloved congregation. And I want to first invite everyone to social hour after the service in Goddard Hall, which is out the doors to your left behind you. And there will be coffee, tea, iced tea, lemonade, snacks, and as always, good company. So please join us. If you're new and want to stay in touch with us, you can fill out a guest information card in the Welcome Center in Goddard Hall. You can also find a virtual guest information card in the newcomer section of our website. So as Bert let you know, we have 4 announcements today, I think. I'm going to give it to Bert for a second for the first, and then I'll come back.
We have folks in our congregation who belong to the Interfaith Community Services, and they are doing a hygiene drive, they call it, for supplies, toothpaste, travel-size lotion, shampoo, anything you can pack easily in a bag. And they'll be collecting those if you want to donate them next Sunday. There'll be a notice also online for this, but anything that can fit comfortably, easily in a hygiene kit. So think about that.
And I've got 2 announcements from Reverend Jamili about some upcoming services. First, back to learning, Sunday, next Sunday, September 7th, we will be talking about a UU value, a human right, and a fun process, learning. To kick off our fall, we invite everyone to bring to church something that represents learning to you. Maybe it's your backpack. Maybe it's a photo of a favorite teacher. Maybe it's a pencil. Whatever it is, we'll share our stories of learning in order to welcome in all of life's lessons, big and small. And then, in 3 weeks, on September 21st, join us as we regather for the year for our in-gathering service. It is the time we officially welcome in the new church year. This service will honor the earth that holds all our lives. Please bring a rock, yes, a rock, that you would like to leave with us to be part of our Joys and Sorrows ritual every week. The best stones are small pebble sizes, up to those the size of your palm. We welcome the diversity of the rock world. Bring those made of stone, minerals, gems, or glass. And finally, on behalf of the Board of Trustees, we'd like to share an update on the transitions consultant hiring process. In this late spring, the board had developed a job description for the position, which was open to UU ministers and non-ministers, and non-UU but values-aligned ministers and non-ministers. A hiring team made up of Tom Gregg, Jan Mulder, Frank Valdez, and me, as well as Reverend Jamili in an ex officio capacity, was formed to interview candidates and make a recommendation to the board. We had 9 applicants and conducted interviews with 4, and then second interviews with our top 2. The hiring team shared their selection with the board, who voted to accept it. We are excited to share with you today that we have hired Francis Prevost as our transitions consultant. I will let Francis tell you himself about his background in just a minute, but I wanted to share why we're so enthusiastic about having him in this role. His extensive experience in business leadership, including in nonprofits, as well as the consulting work he's done with organizations who are defining their vision and reimagining their organizational structures in line with that vision, will serve UUCT well. Because he knows Unitarian Universalism well, he can bridge the 2 worlds. I've worked with Francis on a project here in the congregation where he demonstrated his ability to draw out others' ideas and vision and open up new possibilities. And I think he'll be a great asset to UUCT. So let's give a warm UUCT welcome to Francis.
Hi. So, indeed, I'm Francis Prevost. My preferred pronouns are he and him. First of all, thank you, of course, to the hiring team and the Board of Trustees for their trust and for choosing me. I feel very honored by this choice and by becoming your transitions consultant. So for those who wonder why I applied for this position, first of all, I am a consultant. So what sets the stage here? I am indeed a consultant. I have not been a consultant my entire life. I've been the consultant before, then went back to be an employee or a founder of companies. And I've been back consulting for a moment now. So why am I someone who felt that I could help UUCT? In no order and absolutely not exhaustive list, it would be way too long. Here are a few reasons why I feel like I can help. I know about leadership and management. I have been the founder of a few companies. I've been a CEO, a COO, an IT engineer, an air traffic controller for the French Army. I've been a veterinary practice manager, a sales rep, and so on. That's for the business side of my career. What do I know about not-for-profits? Our side here? Well, I've been a consultant for not-for-profits before. Really enjoyed it. And some of my work led to major restructurations and growth for the nonprofit I was working for. I've also been a CEO of an NGO here in the United States. And what do I know about UUism? I've been a UU for almost 20 years now, always been part of congregations. I have been an art teacher. I have been an operations committee lead. I have been a board president. I have been a worship associate. I went through 2 interim ministries. Let's just say one very bad and one very good. I have been and as president of the board, I led a vision and mission creation process and a capital campaign. So I have some experience. And on the faith side, I would just say that I went to our UU seminary, starting school for the ministry as a Master of Divinity student. Unfortunately, I couldn't graduate. I had to leave school for family reasons. But it's been one of the most important experiences in my entire life. So I am your transitions consultant, and I'm very excited about it. As I said to the board, I'm working with the board and for the congregation. And these 2 words are important. With the board, for the congregation. I will listen to you. I will support you as much as I will challenge you. I will help you make the choices you want to embrace fully. My goal is to make this congregation ready for the next minister and the years to come. During the interview process, and during the 2 interviews, the hiring team asked me what my vision was for UUCT. And my answer has been very clear. I don't know. I don't know. It is not up to me to tell you what the vision is. What I propose is that we figure that out together. That would be my goal. So, let's get to work.
Before I read my poem, I also have an announcement. So, Borderlands is in the process of engaging Reverend Sam in doing some work. I see some head nods. You all know what that's about. We have completed, indeed, we have completed our first phase with her and are in the process of discerning what phase 2 is going to look like. The board suggested that I invite folks from UUCT to come down and talk about what your experiences have been in this journey of your own with Reverend Sam. So I'm just putting out there that the 23rd of September, we have our monthly town hall. And if you're interested in coming down with Jody to be part of a panel where Borderlands folks can pick your brains and hear your story, it would be tremendously helpful to our community to hear from those that have actually undergone this process. So if you're interested in being a part of the panel, either reach out to Jody or to me during coffee hour. Thank you. How falling in love is like owning a dog. First of all, it's a big responsibility, especially in a city like New York. So think long and hard before deciding on love. On the other hand, love gives you a sense of security when you're walking down the street late at night and you have a leash on love. Ain't no one going to mess with you. Because crooks and muggers think love is unpredictable. Who knows what love could do in its own defense? On cold winter nights, love is warm. It lies between you and lives and breathes and makes funny noises. Love wakes you up all hours of the night with its needs. It needs to be fed so it will grow and stay healthy. Love doesn't like being left alone for long, but come home and love is always happy to see you. It may break a few things accidentally in its passion for life, but you can never be mad at love for long. Is love good all the time? No. Love can be bad. Bad love. Bad. Very bad love. Love makes messes. Love leaves you little surprises here and there. Love needs lots of cleaning up after. Sometimes you just want to get love fixed. Sometimes you want to roll up a piece of newspaper and swat love on the nose. Not so much to cause pain, just to let love know, don't you ever do that again. Sometimes love just wants to go out for a nice long walk because love loves exercise. It will run you around the block and leave you panting, breathless. Pull you in different directions at once or wind itself around and around you until you're all wound up and you cannot move. But love makes you meet people wherever you go. People who have nothing in common but love stop and talk to each other on the street. Throw things away and love will bring them back again and again and again. But most of all, love needs love, lots of it. And in return, love loves you and never stops. Make it so.
Please rise as you are able and sing our last song, No Ordinary Song. As we lift our voices on this day, many hearts are heavy with despair. How can our lifted voices find a way to bring us one step closer to repair? If a wounded world we wish to heal, we must sing no ordinary song. Make it a cadence relevant and real. It's every measure purposeful and strong. Let this song our greatest hope contain. Will that children be its just refrain? Roof over every heartbeat be its tune, its harmony from peaceful cities hewn. Sing of hope while hammering
The words for our chalice extinguishing this morning were written by Kristen L. Harper, entitled "The Breath of Life is Not Mine." Please read along with me. I do not wish to breathe another breath if it is not shared with others, because the breath of mine is not mine alone. I brought myself to be with you, hoping that by inhaling the compassion, the courage, and the hope found here, I can exhale the fear, the selfishness, and the separateness that I keep close to my skin. I cannot live another moment, at least not one of joy, unless you and I find our oneness somewhere among each other, somewhere between the noise, somewhere within the silence of the next breath. We now extinguish our chalice candle here and at home. Please do as well. Danielle.